Previously, Part 1a defined Truthfarian as a truth recognition mechanism grounded in equilibrium rather than belief. What follows grounds that definition in law. Truthfarian does not invent standards. It does not replace law. It binds to law. Every variable that appears later is attached to a lawful constraint. Without law, there is no equilibrium. Without equilibrium, there is no truth mechanism.
No free man shall be seized or imprisoned, or stripped of his rights or possessions, or outlawed or exiled, or deprived of his standing in any other way, except by the lawful judgment of his equals, or by the law of the land. To no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice. Those words were set down in 1215. That is not theory, that is law. It establishes the first boundary. Power is constrained by process, judgment must be lawful, and delay itself is a breach. Justice delayed is justice denied. That principle is over 800 years old.
Every person shall be diligent in maintaining honesty and the integrity of their conduct. The doctrine is grounded in truth and must be faithfully declared. That fixes the next condition. Truth is not optional. Integrity is not discretionary. Conduct, speech, and record are bound to honesty. Distortion is breach. No person shall be condemned unheard. That is natural justice. That is common law. It establishes that a process without a real hearing is unlawful. A decision made without allowing response, without clarity, without accuracy, collapses the legitimacy of the outcome. Truth fears nothing. False in one thing, false in everything. Those maxims are not metaphors. They are operational rules. If one material fact is false, the whole construct fails. There is no partial truth where distortion exists. Justice, justice shall you pursue. Do not spread a false report. You shall do no injustice in judgment.
Those statements bind justice to truth and prohibit falsehood at the point where decisions are made. Justice is not passive. False reporting is not neutral. Distortion at judgment is unlawful. Stand firmly for justice, even against yourselves. Do not mix the truth with falsehood, or conceal the truth knowingly. False witness is among the gravest wrongs. These fix the same boundary from another legal tradition. Truth and justice cannot be separated. Concealment is breach, and false testimony destroys legitimacy. Every person is entitled to protection of their life, body, and dignity. That establishes dignity as a protected legal variable. Harm is not abstract. Dignity is not symbolic. It is legally measurable. A person is entitled to a fair and public hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial tribunal. That is the right to a fair hearing. Time matters. Independence matters. Where records are unclear or evidence is concealed, fairness collapses. Everyone whose rights are violated shall have an effective remedy before a national authority.
A remedy must be real. It must be practical. It must restore balance. A remedy that exists only on paper is not a remedy. Public bodies must act with full candor, accuracy, and transparency. Omission, delay, or distortion constitutes procedural breach. Silence is not neutral. Delay is not harmless. Omission is not accidental. These are failure conditions. Institutional action must not exceed what is necessary or appropriate to achieve its lawful aim. Overreaction and underreaction both constitute legal imbalance. That is proportionality. That is equilibrium expressed in law. Institutional error, delay, or mismanagement that causes real harm breaches the duty to maintain justice. The burden created by unlawful delay cannot be transferred onto the individual. Misstatement, omission, or distortion of material fact by an authority is unlawful. The factual record must remain accurate and unaltered. These are not opinions. These are binding legal conditions. This is the foundation. Law binds the variables. Sansana coordinates variables that are already law-bound. Equilibrium is the lawful steady state across conduct, record, process, and remedy. This is why Truthfarian is not belief-based. This is why it is not speculative. This is why it applies across systems. It is grounded in law, English law, common law, human rights law, the oldest continuous legal constraints still in force. That is the foundation. That is why it holds.
To check human rights, visit truthfarian.co.uk. Truthfarian performs its civic duty under the Public Interest Disclosure Act and Protected Disclosure under PIDA 1998, ensures safety, accountability, and public right to truth.